Kren is an agility-based ranger class hero from the Mauler faction who specializes in AoE damage and control, and in today's video we're going to take a look at his skills and abilities, his teams and uses, and whether or not it's worth investing in this hero, so let's get into it. For his ultimate ability, Bomb Voyage, Kren's going to run back to his side of the battlefield, place his cannon down, and continually shoot shells. One shell every 0.5 seconds for 10 seconds. Now these shells are going to deal AoE damage, and while he is using this ability, he can't be knocked back, knocked into the air, and if there are no more enemies on the enemy side of the battlefield, he will stop the attack. Next up we have Enshrouding Bomb. For this one, Kren's going to lob a smoke bomb onto his furthest forward ally that's going to last for 8 seconds, and this is going to make them immune to critical strikes and also increase their own critical rating by up to 40 points. And then we have his next ability, Old Pal. For this one, he's going to send a flare into the air where one of his friends is going to go behind enemy lines and place 5 landmines back there on the edge of the battlefield. And if enemies come into contact with these landmines, they'll explode, dealing AoE damage and stunning those enemies, and also increasing Kren's attack, which can be stacked up to 3 times. And then we have the ability Concussive Blast. For this one, Kren is going to charge towards the enemy that is closest to his side of the battlefield and attack them, knocking them backwards, but also knocking himself backwards to his side of the battlefield. Kren's signature item, Potent Firepower, is all about enhancing his basic attacks. For this one, at level 30, after doing one basic attack, he will enhance his basic attacks from then on. They're going to deal an extra 40% damage and also knock the enemies backwards and stunning them for up to 2 seconds. Now, due to his ultimate being considered a basic attack and replacing his basic attack for that period, his ultimate shells are also going to knock back and stun the enemies. And finally, we have his furniture action plan. For this one, at level 3, the AoE range of his ability Enshrouding Bomb is going to be widened and also reduce the haste of enemies by 40 points. And then at level 9, when he does use the Enshrouding Bomb ability, he's going to throw an additional bomb onto the most congested area of enemies. With his high damage and good control, Kren can be used in several teams. The idea with him is to basically get him towards an ult where he can then lock out the enemy team with CC, but also that really nice AoE damage. He can be used in some incredibly powerful teams utilizing heroes like Mahira and Rowan and Rosaline. However, in this one, we're going to take a look at an invade team that makes more use of his bombs in the back row with other heroes that can knock enemies back and get them into those bombs quicker. So the team we're going to look at is going to involve Skreg, Citrana, Titus, Numisu, and Kren. Skreg has multiple purposes in this team. He's going to be able to buff his allies, being Citrana and Titus, when they fight in the enemy side of the battlefield. On top of that, Skreg is able to mount up really fast and start stomping around the enemy side of the battlefield, which will also knock the enemies back, allowing them to be pushed into Kren's bombs that sit in the back row, stunning them, but also dealing that damage, and also increasing Kren's attack at the same time. Citrana in the other front row position is there because she has some really nice self-mitigation to be able to survive in that front row, whilst also bringing some utility. One, she does advance forward into the enemy side of the battlefield, so she will gain the effects of Skreg's furniture. On top of that, she does have a heal block, which is going to reduce the amount of sustain the enemy team can have and allow us to work through them faster. Then we have Titus. Titus has multiple synergies in this team. He will be fighting on the enemy side of the battlefield as well, taking advantage of that Skreg buff. On top of that, he does have his own knockback for enemies, but also an AoE fear, which will make the enemies turn around and run into those bombs that Kren does have placed, once again exploding, stunning them, and also giving Kren his attack buff. Numisu is a balanced choice for this team. He can be replaced by other heroes. However, for this example, we're using him for a few main purposes. One, the healing. He's the only source of sustain that the team does have, aside from their own life leeching effects like Titus has. On top of that, he puts down the totems, which can distract the enemies and force the enemies to attack those totems, which mitigates damage that they would otherwise be dealing to our teammates. On top of that, he does have a really nice single target haste buff, which if landed on Kren or any of our other damage dealers can really increase our damage. And finally, of course, we have Kren. Now, even though Kren doesn't take advantage of skreg's buff for battling in the enemy side of the battlefield, he synergizes really well with the invade style of play. We have Skreg and Titus that are going to be knocking back those enemies, making them explode those landmines, stunning them, and also increasing Kren's attack. And then we can get Kren to be protected because everyone else is pushing so far forward, which allows Kren to safely activate his ultimate. And then once he does, he's going to deal massive amounts of damage, but also have a lot of control for that enemy team because when he is ulting, they will be stunned for that duration. For artifacts, Kren has three main options depending on the situation. Jura's Eye is a very balanced option, allowing to get those crits and just general damage increase. Then if you really need Kren to ult that bit faster, you can use Jura's Call to give him that extra energy regeneration. And then if you're having trouble with Kren surviving when he runs in to knock back the enemy at the start of the battle, you can always use something like the Shroud of Verdure to mitigate some of that damage taken. So with all that out of the way, is it worth investing in Kren? Now, Kren isn't currently the best damage dealer in the game. However, he does have very low investment required to make him function in his purpose, so he's a great one to build for your second, third, or maybe fourth team. As for his signature item, 20 is a pretty safe point. 30 is nice, but for the extra investment and how expensive it is, you're better off using those red chests to upgrade another hero that really needs their 30 signature item. The 20 is required to get that stun effect added to his normal attacks. And for his furniture, you don't really need it at all. It's a nice bonus to have, allowing those smoke bombs to benefit the rest of the team more, but if the rest of the team can survive, you really don't need to invest anything into his furniture. So that is going to be it for Kren, a crazy Mauler, damage dealing, crowd control beast that can really lock out an entire team if they don't have anyone to counter him. Thanks for watching, hope you guys have an awesome day, and we'll look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.